15 degrees, you can see your breath. Out here in the lake effect, breaking tables like it's poetry. Where else would you rather be? Pinto, Ron, Elvis, and the Lay Poncho. The members that you need to know. 'Cause once you out here now, your family. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be?
Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker and StreamYard. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud.
It's a vibe so ridiculous. Since 12 plus 83 was 6. The shout rocking like a symphony. Where else would you rather be?
All right, let's get straight to it. Each and every year when training camp starts, I don't know if it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it was silly, and I was playing around with my Kings, and I came up with this little rendition of What a Wonderful World from Lou Rawls, and I changed the words to Football is in the Air. And that was actually the inspiration for season 2, episode 1, when I named the show Football is in the Air. Training camp is back open officially as of today. Our Bills were on the field for their first practice out there at St. John Fisher. And boy, I am really excited about tonight's episode. I'm really excited that football is back. Football is really in the air, man. I mean, it's funny because the Buffalo Bills mean so much to us, Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew. This is the very beginning of what's going to be a long journey to hopefully February, where there'll be some highs, there'll be some lows, there's going to be some frustrations, there's going to be some euphoric, feelings throughout the season. There's going to be points in time where we'll feel like we're invincible, we're on top of the world, and then obviously the playoffs will shake out, and we'll see what happens after that. But no place I'd rather be than doing this with you guys here tonight. Joining me as always, my co-host, my main man, 50 grand. Holla at the crew. Adam Dump Truck Rupsick, excuse me. You check him out at Adam RUPCZYK on Instagram. What's up, DT? Holla at the crew, DT. What's good?
What's up, Nickel City? Click clack. We're back.
Click clack.
Let's go. These dudes, I know they're leaving their $1 million homes to go to a college dorm, but who didn't love college, baby? So it's time to get back in those dorm rooms and click clack.
Yeah, man, click clack. I saw Deion Dawkins picking up his snacks and stuff from Target the other day. So I mean, everybody's getting ready and getting their pillows and getting their Xboxes and bringing the gaming systems, and everybody's getting ready to go. So I'm excited about it. Joining us tonight, our special guest, as we get ready to talk some offense tonight and unpack some things. Shout out to the general. Let's give a salute, DT. Justus General Radford at JA17 MVP on Instagram and Twitter. What's good, General? Salute. What's good, General? What's good with you?
What's going on?
I'll let the crew.
Man. It's super dope to be here with the Nickel City Crew. I always love doing your show, man. The production, the intro. Oh,
Richland, shout out to
Richland. That is a stroke of genius, man. That Nickel City click clack, the chemistry, man. Y'all are good. We're gonna have fun tonight, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you joining us for sure, man. We appreciate that because DT and I have just kind of taken this on as a passion, and everybody knows that he joined me around 7 or 8 months into this thing when I started it over a year ago, and I'm excited about Nickel City Crew. I'm excited about the future here on Buffalo FAMBase, which we simulcast on. Tonight's episode, as all episodes, are presented by 26 Shirts, as we always are. Head on over to 26shirts.com for the latest of all your Buffalo-themed T-shirts. They all support a great cause, each and every purchase, every time you go on there. So, listen, fellas, let's break down this offense. The episode is going to be aptly named because it's funny because I was thinking about the title to the show, and I was like, man, let's talk about points, man. And then I thought about that Salt and Pepper song. Let's talk about sex. And I was like, yeah, let's talk about points. Let's talk about everything and anything that could be. Let's talk about points right now. So I'm down with it. Let's talk about this offense because it's retooling a little bit, DT. And we're going to start up front with the offensive line, but it seems like there's been a concerted effort from Brandon Beane on down, and the draft picks say so, that offense was the focus of the offseason. I know that a lot of Bills fans Bills Mafia out there were worried, with McDermott and his, defensive tendencies and how the drafts have been going. And he drafts, defensive ends back to back, a couple of years ago. We thought that there could have been a chance with with losing Tremaine Edmonds that we would go defense again in the first round. They didn't, they kind of zagged, and they really showed a concerted effort, really starting from free agency, DT, that offense was going to be a focus. It was something that they cared about. They knew that they were missing some things on the offensive side of the football in the second half of the year. And it looks like they took a concerted effort to address it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the past couple of years, really, Bean has kind of put a bunch of guys in free agency, no huge names by any means through this offensive line. As remember Forrest Lamp a few years ago and some other, starters that never panned out. But then you got the nucleus. You have the Mitch Morse in the middle, and then the two tackles and the guards are rotating. And improvement is a must this year. It was one of the worst rankings they've had in previous years. And shit, Madden just came out, and nobody's over an 80. Only Dawkins is the only player even rated over an 80 on our whole offensive line. But got some nice rookie help coming in. Got Connor McGovern coming in. I like, again, what we've done, because we all talk about priority number one. It's keeping 17 upright. It's keeping 17 clean. And that has to be addressed, and it has to be a lot better than last year. So as much as Bean, has been bringing guys in throughout the years because you got to protect the merchandise, this feels a little different, feels a little bit of an edge. We got some rookies competing. We got some people who really got to show themselves, and Spencer Brown, Deion Dawkins, and, it's make or break for this line.
Yeah, it's interesting because, General, I was looking at the line and thinking about, and I've got the roster up, and then I was like, wow, it looks like Torrance is going to have a little bit of an uphill battle to beat Ryan Bates. It looks like there's going to be some other battles in respects to, everybody watching Spencer Brown, like DT spoke to. But what do you think about the offensive line? Because it seems like with McGovern coming in, Torrance being drafted, they definitely are making an effort to try to fortify. I'm not sure if that means that they're planning on running the ball more. I'm hoping that you can elaborate on that a little bit, but I'm concerned about, seeing to make sure that not only is Josh upright, like DT says, General, but I'm really worried about making sure that he's got the time to go through those progressions, to make sure that those throws and some of those longer formations that we know Ken Dorsey likes to draw up have a time to develop. And that's what I'm really going to be keying in on.
Yeah. Osiris Torrance is going to start.
Really?
Really?
I agree.
Over Bates or McGovern?
Yeah, he's going to start at right guard.
Either.
Wow.
He's just too good. I mean,
okay. Ryan Bates might have been our best offensive lineman, I heard, on the on the team last year.
Well, I wouldn't say he's our best offensive lineman. He's our most versatile offensive lineman, for sure.
Okay.
He can play 4, maybe 5 positions on the offensive line. 4 for sure, maybe 5. I don't know if he could play left tackle, but Ryan Bates is good. Ryan Bates is the 6th man of the year, right?
Right. Right. Yep.
Torrance is a starter. He is, and you have to respect Ryan Bates and put him as the starter going into camp, because you don't know what Osiris Torrance is going to bring in the NFL, right? So he could be a bust. Now, that is a mammoth of a, and as a mammoth of a man, myself, I'm 6'10", 385. So if I'm telling you that guy is huge, that guy's big.
Damn, General.
Yeah,
I didn't know you were like that.
I'm the biggest guy, and so as the biggest guy, that's a big guy. You know what I mean? And
we usually refer to DT as the big guy, but I didn't know you were 6'10".
Yeah,
There's room for all of us. You know what I mean? But
I learn something every day. I didn't know that. Yeah.
No. Shout out to my big boys. But no. Osiris Torrance, he never let up a sack his entire NCAA career.
Yeah.
4 seasons. Not one sack, bro.
Yeah, I know. And in the SEC.
Like sometimes, I played offensive line. Sometimes you slip and you know what I mean? Guy gets around you. Right. Like sometimes not one sack. You know what I mean? Offensive. Okay. So for him to come in, and if he is not a starter,
that means Bates is
I'm
really
not gonna lie, I would be extremely disappointed.
Okay.
And if he's not a starter by year 2, I'm already looking at
bust potential.
as Okay. okay, we might be looking at another Cody Ford, but I don't think we are.
Everything we hear about him is positive. Everything we hear about him is positive. I just know that
we stole him, right?
I very much believe he's going to be the right guard, and he may be the best lineman on the field when we are on offense. He might be the second best because Deion Dawkins is a Pro Bowler. I gotta give him respect.
Right.
But he might be, he might be one of our anchors. But of course, he's a rookie, so that's going to come further along. But I very much expect for him to at least start by the beginning of the season.
All right, that's interesting. I mean, DT, if you've got anything else to add, I mean, yeah. I've heard good things about Torrance, so I'm not trying to, indicate that he doesn't have the chops, so to speak. And I heard about that sack stat from Florida, and that's the SEC, so that's definitely impressive over his career. I just, Bates is a veteran. He was starter, and I heard that, maybe he was one of our best linemen, last year because, Deion had a little bit of a down year. So I didn't know.
And we'll see what Connor McGovern is too, right? That's kind of a big Gore name, if you will, coming from that Dallas line, who's been, 5 All-Pros pretty much the last reign. But my point with the offensive line is, you got to fit to your strengths up there. And 2 years ago, Spencer Brown's rookie year, I think he struggled last year in pass protection. Just he doesn't have that athleticism to get off the edge, as quick as and hopefully he's worked on that and right. he's going to get there. But his rookie year, when they were kind of just letting him loose, getting him on the field, he was playing swing, he was playing tackle. Mm-hmm. He was just mauling dudes. I mean, I feel like he's more of a front line run blocker and a maul runner. So I'm not saying we're running more, but I'd like to get that little more, that tenacity, that meanness of the offensive line back where they're kind of mauling dudes and pushing people around to open up that run game a little more to, in return, that's going to take way more pressure off and catch you some steps on that pass protection you're a little slow for. He was throwing people around and he's big enough to do that. So I kind of hope that they lean into that more, that mean tenacity than just trying to be better pass blockers.
And speak to that, General, because you played on the line, because I heard that's one of the things I heard about Torrance is that he's one of those I'm not fucking around type of players. Like, you know what I mean? And like, we kind of need that because Deion is sometimes the nice guy. Yeah, like we've got a road grader up there now. So like, speak to that because intensity it matters. And Mitch Moore spoke about absolutely. That. Competition breeds.
It matters. It does matter, but when you're that big, it really matters less. Like, okay. I don't need to be as intense as, you know what I mean, the other players because of my sheer size. You got to deal with me no matter what, right? And on top of Osiris Torrance being a massive guy, he also is intense. He has the intensity. He has the high motor. He's a better run blocker than he is a pass blocker. And I think that's good for us, right? You know what I mean? Because him being a good run blocker is what I'm concerned about. Okay. As far as being a pass blocker,
I agree.
Yeah, as far as being a pass blocker, even if you're like a B average, again, you're still massive. So someone has to deal with you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, they can't just run through you. They're going to have to use technique in order to beat him, right? Great technique at that. So when you look at Osiris Torrance, like in college, again, tossing people around, like just being a bulldozer out on the football field. And when he went up against Jalen Carter, I think he may have lost 4 reps total the entire game.
Yeah.
It was Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter last year was better than 75%
of the D linemen. Yeah.
Right. And he did extremely well against Jalen Carter. Go ahead, DT.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I was just going off your point there with, becoming a better, tenacious run blocking offense. Josh already kind of knows how to get out of the pocket and move around, and teams really aren't blitzing us as much as, any other team because they know they're going to get burned. So Josh can handle kind of that upfront pressure. And if we can become that dynamic, mean running line, then that's going to just back people off. So when we get into passing situations, it's a lot easier to maintain.
To get their
sets. I think that's a lot easier to do than become good pass blockers, be mean run blockers.
Yeah, and when you look at the off-season moves that the Buffalo Bills have made, bringing in Connor McGovern and having Ryan Bates and having Osiris Torrance, now And now it's like where we have a wealth of riches. We don't even know who's going to be a starter, as opposed to last year. We was like, oh my God, who's going to be a starter, right? Like, so like, and even if it's all average to slightly above average talent, the sum can be a lot better than its parts, right?
Okay.
And I think that is what
they're shooting for
to do, right? This offseason, because when you take a look at them they bringing in a lot of offensive linemen.
Yeah, they got a ton.
I'm
looking at the roster now, and it looks like they got like 12, 13. there's a ton of them.
Broker was another guy. They drafted him in like the 6th or 7th round, I think.
Yep.
It was the late round pick, and he had never allowed a sack in college either. Now, he had some technique issues, and his footwork isn't like super crazy amazing, and he's a little undersized, but he could play 3 to 4 positions too on the line. He's pretty versatile. They brought in a lot of talent, and I think that is going to be like what DT said. They want the most ferocious, disgusting, vicious animals on the field at all times, because they don't want anything to happen to 17. And they get offended if something does happen to 17, and that's what you want out of your offensive line.
Yeah.
I think they're going to take these 12, 13. It may be 17 offensive linemen may have come through the Buffalo Bills the Buffalo Bills, One Bills drive before the regular season starts. I think they're going to be like, I need the 5 most vicious dogs, and you come stand in front of my quarterback. And I think that's what they're going for. They brought in a lot of good talent to, kind of compete this training camp.
Yeah, and Mitch Morse today, when he was speaking to the press, just talked about how competition breeds, the best, and it brings out the best in the, in the guys, and it will be interesting to look at, now as we transition to, the guys that are right next to those linemen. It's interesting, man. I have been almost borderline appalled at the maybe appalled is not the right word, but I have been the expectations for this golden child, Dalton Kincaaaaaiiiid, is getting a tad bit like out of hand for me. Now, this is me personally. I'm not speaking for. I'm not. I'll explain. Listen. I've heard Kelsey comparisons. I've heard I've heard he's the smoothest route runner. I've heard that he creates separation like no other in college and different things like that. Now, here's my only thing that I'm trying to figure out, and I want to kind of temper is, most of the time, historically, tight ends don't come in and make a huge impact. Are we really looking at a Kelsey clone, DT? And listen, no, you got to wait, General, because you are just. You want to tell me a secret? What's the secret?
I'm gonna tell you a secret. Don't tell nobody I said this, okay?
Okay.
Dalton Kincaaaaaiiiid is not a tight end.
Oh my goodness! So.
In 4 years, when we gotta pay him like a tight end, because he's listed as a tight end, but he ain't no tight end.
Right? But that speaks to my next point, DT. I've been hearing that, ladies and gentlemen, your slot receiver, Dalton Kincaaaaaiiid. Am I supposed to buy that? I even called up the WGR one time and was talking about like how I'm not sure. They talk so highly, they speak so highly of this guy, and they are really talking about how he is going to be a mismatch nightmare from the slot. DT, do you buy it? Because they are all. I mean, when I'm talking about a hype train, this young man has his own hype train, and I'm not throwing any salt on him.
Yeah,
I'm just like, man, Kelsey.
Yeah,
like I'm hearing it all
reported. The time. Yeah, exactly. Reportedly, like Kelsey, all this, and I'm not saying he won't be. I hope he really is, but sure. I think we got to proceed with caution here. In history itself, the only 2 receivers that have 1,000, or the only 2 tight ends that have 1,000 yards a rookie year are Kyle Pitts and Mike Ditka. So we're on a very small scale of rookie tight ends that come in and blow up, but you got to look in the room as well. I mean, Dawson Knox is a heck of a player, a heck of a tight end, and I hope Dalton Kincaaaaaiiiid is better and they use him differently than that. And he's a heavy producer in this offense, so I think that will continue. I'm looking forward to it. I say proceed with caution. I'm not, I'm not saying I'm going to be wrong if he does turn out the next Travis Kelce and he turns out great. I'm not saying I'm going to be wrong, but I'm not standing here saying, all right, we're getting 1,500 yards his rookie year.
Justus General, you have the floor since you are clearly one of those people that are on this Cowboys train because I mean you draft him, he's got a great smile, he wears the cowboy hat, everybody likes him. That Josh continues to pour praise on him. He just did again today at the first day of training camp, talking about how he gets open and he's catching everything and all this type of stuff. So listen, I watched highlights after he was drafted of the USC game. I saw him catch the 19 passes. I thought that it was very impressive. You have the floor, General. I mean, are we looking at Travis Kelce 2.0? Is that? I mean, come on.
No, we're looking at Dalton Kincaaaaaiiiiid 1.0. All right, all right. Travis Kelce wishes
101.
No, but I mean, of course, that's a gaudy.
Those are lofty expectations.
Right? Travis Kelce is one of the greatest, if not the greatest. Right. Mm-hmm. So, of course, he's got to earn that. But when you look at Dalton Kincaaaaaiiiid, you take a look at all the wide receivers that were in the draft this year, right? Flowers and Jigba, Dell, what was his name? Josh Downs, Boyd,
Addison, Jordan Addison. They were taking 1, 2, 3, 4 right above Kincaaaaaiiid.
Yeah, we got the best pass catcher in the entire draft.
Better than the receiver. Better than the receivers.
We got the best pass catcher in the entire draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The boys
That's debatable, right? With pass catching and probably not the best route runner, as those guys are a lot quicker and whatnot.
And that's the thing is he's an underrated route runner, and so you put him with an NFL. You got to remember, he hasn't played that much. He's still raw.
No, he has not. He hasn't.
But he has just the intangibles. It's just ridiculous. He catches everything. He never ever gets tackled by the first person that is around him.
He's slippery.
You're gonna have to game tackle him. He's deceptively fast. He kind of reminds me of like a Josh Allen at the tight end position because he's not a
not a tight end. Slot receiver. We heard you. We heard you. PSA.
And you have to take into account, for years we say we were bitching about first round. We need first round weapons. We need first round weapons for Josh. Mm-hmm. We don't get DeAndre Hopkins, and Brandon Beane makes a trade to get this cat.
Right.
So you have to kind of have a little trust in that Beane we are full bore into putting weapons in the 17's hands here. He's not expecting this guy to be a project. He's expecting him to come in and produce. So you have to take that into account right away as well. This is a first round pick for Josh Allen. This is
that you traded for is the key. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You better do something this year.
You look at Jigba, Flowers, that all these guys fast. Oh wow, so fast. All right, cool. Travis Kelce ain't a 99 speed, and he's still doing everything he do. Right? Yep. You ain't got to run as fast as Tank Dell to be good at what you're doing. Right.
Right.
You take away speed, he's the best receiver in this class. I don't call it pass catcher. He's better than any of these receivers. And I mean.
I've heard.
So here's the thing:
that he has the best hands. I've heard a couple guys on WGR.
He has the best hands by far. That's not even the competition. That's not even close. Like what I'm saying is maybe a hot take because like maybe not everybody feels that way, but he has the best hands, and that's not even like debatable, right?
Okay.
He's not going to get like 1,000 yards his rookie season or anything like that because he don't have to. We don't need him to. We got Stephon Diggs. We got the best wide receiver in the league, along with the best quarterback in the league.
But Josh needs some safety valves, though. I mean, we did sign Cole Beasley late in the season, John Brown late in the season.
Sure.
We need an impact from this guy. I think
Dalton Kincaaaaaiiiid serves as a get out of jail free card.
Okay.
Because if Josh don't know where to go, I'm going to go to the guy who's going to catch the ball. That's going to be either 14.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have 86, right?
Okay.
Because Gabe Davis, I trust him. That's my man.
We get ready to talk about it. We get ready to
go. Bro. But bro be kind of folding sometimes, a little bit. Mm-hmm. He be doing that. Isaiah McKenzie he folded a lot. I ain't gonna hold you. He folded in some really, really bad times too. Dalton Kincaaaaaiiiid not gonna fold. That's the thing. He's gonna catch everything. He doesn't fumble. I don't think he's had a fumble in his entire college career. So he doesn't turn the ball over. He's gonna he has the highest
catch percentage.
He had the highest contested catch rate of any receiver drafted. Receiver, tight end, running back, any pass catcher drafted, he had the highest contested catch rate. So he's going to catch over people. He's not going to drop it when he's alone. He's not going to fumble. He's going to get open because he creates separation like crazy. And then he's going to have the most talented quarterback maybe in NFL history throwing on the football.
Interesting.
You tell me how we lose.
No doubt. Okay. We're going to be watching him because I know that he's a fan favorite already. He hasn't even taken one snap, and they are
one of the best receivers in the league, taking coverage away from bro. Bro.
And we still got Dawson Knox, who's no slouch and either. I mean, back-to-back 500-yard seasons,
and Gabe Davis
basically 10 touchdowns. So Dawson Knox is still out there as well. And who's the cat they signed yesterday from Green Bay?
They signed. They signed Sternberger yesterday.
Similar, a pass catching tight end, and I was impressed with what I saw from Quentin Morris, even though it was very limited.
I like
the dude can play too, so it'll be interesting to see how this tight end room plays out in the training camp.
Yeah, it will be very interesting because, I know that Dalton Kincaaaaaiiiid is going to take all the press clippings and maybe rightfully so, like General's talking about. But for sure, Dawson Knox is not. I don't think he's getting ready to take a back seat in respects to his involvement in the offense. I think in the red zone, they're still going to be looking to him. Josh obviously has a rapport with him. And I mean, he's been a touchdown machine for 17 his entire career. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. Oh, I mean, yeah, Dawson is fine. I think that they will be able to work well together. My thing will be, as we'll talk about later in the show, is Ken Dorsey and his job. And that's going to be the onus on him to make sure that he schemes guys up. As we shift to wide receiver room, I just have to put the feather in the cap for Nickel City Crew. Justus General, you were here with us on that episode last month, man. I saw the storm coming before minicamp. I had to get some stuff off my chest because 14 is my favorite Buffalo Bill currently right now. And I just saw the storm coming. I knew that people were getting ready to flip out. I knew that they were some rumblings and some things bubbling under the surface that Bills fans really weren't telling. Bills Mafia wasn't really being honest about what they really felt about. And the miseducation of Stephon Diggs episode was supposed to prep you to be understanding of what this guy is after. He cares about winning. He cares about winning above all else. He is maniacal in his pursuit of winning. I compared him to Michael Jordan. DT compared him with, he's maniacal about victory. We did everything we could to warn the Mafia before minicamp that this guy was coming. He's going to be back. Everything is going to be okay. But he wants everyone to be accountable. Boy, did that man not stand up today and just kill it on the press conference. He was on for about 20 minutes, fellas. Talk to the media, let them know. And all he did was regurgitate our episode from last month, letting everybody know that the frustration was mounting. He said, we've been pushing this rock up a hill and not getting over the hill. He said for the last 3. I went back and listened to the miseducation episode. General said we could have won the Super Bowl last year, the year before that, and the year before that. Nobody is calling you a liar, General. Nobody's calling you a liar, DT. I felt really good today hearing Captain Diggs talk, fellas, because honestly, DT, I saw it coming. You didn't think that it was real. I knew it was real. And he addressed it, man. He literally regurgitated our episode.
Yeah, I mean, and come on, let's go. 1-4 is ready to go. 1-4 wants a ring, and as the WGR today was kind of being soft per usual, and we're saying, we get he wants to win like that, but that's not everyone's style. Well,
No.
in the NFL, that better be everybody's fucking style. Like, let's go. You gotta be a dog to win in this league, and because on the other side they're doing the same thing. So I'm excited to see. Maybe he's playing with a little. He finds a way to get pissed, right? And this is kind of a way to play that. Let's go. There's still going to be talkers all the way through training camp, all the way beginning of the season. I hope he uses that as motivation to eat again and have another 1,500-yard season and plus touchdowns and right up there in the NFL. But I'm excited to talk about the rest of this wide receiver roster too. I mean, a lot of people want to get on Gabe Davis. A lot of people want to say, hey,
call him the clapper,
whatever.
They call him the clapper.
Yeah, the clapper, Gabe Davis. But only 800 plus. I don't know the exact number, but high 800 yards last year, 7 touchdowns. Little lower in yards, and you look at the twos around the league: T. Higgins, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle. All had more yards, right? All were over 1,000 yards at the number 2. but all 7, 8 touchdowns.
Yeah,
he's right there in scoring opportunities. He's a few hundred yards away. He's a couple catches away from being a premier number 2 receiver. It's not like he had 300 yards and 4 touchdowns last year and it completely flopped. The dude, yes, had some big drops in clutch situations, but he's right up there with the number 2s. A couple more catches and 1 out route every other game gets him over that 1,000 yards and puts him at 8, 9, 10 touchdowns, which he'll be there with all the T. Higgins of the world. And everybody would love to have T. Higgins right now on the Bills too. So I'd like to ease up a little on Gabe Davis. I think he needs to improve. The drops are unacceptable. He needs to be the outlier for Josh Allen, but he's not that far away from being a top number 2.
I think General, it could be the catch rate. I mean, the catch rate, man. I mean, he was at like 51% last year. He was targeted 93 times, 48 catches. That's good for 51%. Like I think that's probably one of the main things and why there's apprehension around signing him and going into the future and his status with the team. You seem to be a proponent of him. You love him. That's your man. I love his work ethic, but is he preparing the right way? Because you could practice the wrong shit all the time, and then you're still going to be having the bad characteristics or the bad traits that you're trying to get out of your game. They say that he's been working the jugs machine. I understand that he has one personally as well. I don't know, man. It's just, 51%. I do need a little bit more efficiency from my number 2, General.
So Gabriel Davis
he's a success story too, by the way. He's a success story with his pick.
I would not want T. Higgins over Gabriel. Gabriel Davis is better than T. Higgins.
Wow.
T. Higgins just happens to have a better offensive coordinator.
Wow.
T. Higgins just happens to have a better offensive coordinator to me.
Wow.
Gabriel Davis.
We might get some calls on that one.
Wow. Okay.
Gabriel Davis has everything an elite wide receiver needs.
Mm-hmm. They say he only runs 2 routes.
He got strength. He got speed. He has catchability. I don't know. He just lose focus. Like, he'll make the hardest catches in the world.
Right.
He makes so he can catch very well. He drops the easiest ones. I don't know. It's weird. So, if he was a little more consistent, like DT said, if Gabriel Davis had 1 drop last year, he would have had better numbers than most ones.
Yeah. Oh, no, he probably would have been re-signed to a contract extension this offseason. I think that's what they're waiting on is to see.
Gabriel Davis might have been all pro last year if he had 1 drop. Or 0 drops, because those numbers would have been stupid. He dropped some big passes.
He did.
Like 40, 50 yards downfield. One was like 70 yards downfield or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So if he didn't drop those, he would have had crazy numbers, which tells me that he could still have some crazy numbers.
Okay.
But it's all about consistency.
You're trying to say it's in there. He has it in him. He has it in him.
Definitely has it. Gabriel Davis could easily be one of the best receivers in the league. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I want him to do. I'm not even gonna say that. But I just hope that he taps into that potential that he has, because he certainly has it.
Okay.
Is just about utilizing it. It's kind of the Dawson Knox is in the same boat. You got all the stuff you need to be a great tight end. You just don't. Dawson Knox don't have the football smarts yet. Gabriel Davis has the football smarts, right? When John Brown was here, he said Gabriel Davis and Isaiah Hodgins, they were the 2 rookies at the time. They came in, they knew the playbook better than the veterans knew the playbook, right? Gabriel Davis, he got the smarts. You know what I'm saying? He's got the work ethic. He's got the, you know what I mean? He's got everything. He just happens to drop football sometimes, which, I mean, I'm not making excuses for. He's most definitely better, get that together. But he got everything else, honestly.
Interesting. I like Gabe Davis, and I'm interested to see what he's going to do. I hear we're gonna get to the OC. I mean, it's interesting,
Yeah,
DT.
I mean, we got the 1-2, and then the guys they bring in, right? Let's go into Turner Sherfield and Deontay Harty, and let's not forget about our boy Rob 1-0 Khalil.
Yeah. Khalil Shakir. I mean, he's gonna be in the slot. I mean, it looks like he's in a battle though, DT, because I'm interested most with Deontay Harty. I remember his speed. I remember that, the young cat, the skinny, but he was from New Orleans. I remember him torching cats. So now I'm trying to figure out between Harty, between Shakir, and then I guess maybe Sherfield, who I guess can go outside a little bit as well. Who is the slot guy? I know that General thinks that it's, mainly going to be Kincaid, but when it comes to the wide receivers, I'm wondering if Harty can be everything that they wanted Zeke to be last year and the year before. Like they had big plans for Zeke. We heard that he was the training camp king coming out of training camp, and that he had a wonderful camp, and he was the star of training camp. And then when the Bullets were live, we saw a lot of the mistakes that Zeke always made. And I was one of his biggest fans, but eventually I couldn't keep, caping up for him because he kept fucking up in big situations and doing dumb shit. So because of that, I'm wondering, I mean, remember, it was one of their first targets when free agency opened. I think they got McGovern and they got Harty right after. I'm thinking they've got plans for this young man. I would assume that they start in the slot. I would assume that he's going to be in at least a rotation with Shakir and whoever the case may be and whoever else. But I think he might be my main guy if I had to pick a guy, even more than Kincaid. General, I would pick Harty. DT, what do you think about Harty? I am really keyed in on this young man. I think he's got special talent.
I one of my good friends, a diehard New Orleans Saints fan, and when that signing happened, it was like, yo, it's going to be something for you guys. We love that dude. He just couldn't stay on the field.
Couldn't stay on the field, yeah.
Couldn't stay on the field, but we love that dude when he was out there. And you said it best, Rob. Will he be what Zeke was supposed to be? And I think that's what they've been striving for since the Tyreek Hill era. Of him burning everybody. That's Brandon Beane's trying to have that one guy that can be that burner, be that speed guy. All the NFL teams are trying to do that. And, if he stays healthy, that's really what they were saying through minicamp, too, was this guy. Capaccio was saying that was the thing that kind of impressed him most was how fast this cat really is. So, with Hines now out, he might be, in the return game a little more and everything in between. But if he can be what Isaiah McKenzie was supposed to be, or even a little better than Isaiah McKenzie, we were 13-3 with basically some dead baggage with Isaiah McKenzie. So if he can be a little bit better than Isaiah McKenzie, I think it's all worth it.
Yeah, I mean, who are you looking at? I know that you like Kincaid in the slot, General, but I'm very intrigued by Deontay Harty, even Sherfield to a certain extent. They say he's a mean receiver in respects that he doesn't mind blocking out there on the edges. He had a few good plays for Miami last year with Tua. What do you think about the slot? Because I think that they're still looking for a few more answers, and obviously it can't just all be Kincaid. Maybe it can in your world, but I think that there's got to be some type of space carved out for Harty because they went after him right away. They clearly wanted him, and I think they have some plans for
him. Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm not as high on Shakir as it seems like everybody else is. I mean, like people are excited about Shakir. I don't know. I feel like I didn't really see enough from him.
You just exactly. We didn't see any of them. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like when he was on the field, I don't know if I was like super blown away by what was happening when the ball was in his hands. But we'll see. I will say that on the Buffalo FAMBase Madden cast that me and Jake Jordan do, where we simulate the regular season, Deontay Harty is going crazy right now. He is going.
Let's go. I like to hear that. I like to hear that. Good.
And it kind of making me root for him, and like in real life, it's like I want to see if he actually goes out there and goes nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, I'm rooting for him because he's a Bills player, but like individually, I think that Deontay Harty could get a lot of playing time. But look, man, that wide receiver room is absolutely amazing. I feel like you got Stephon Diggs, you got Gabriel Davis, who's a good number two, could potentially be an elite number two. Dalton Kincaaaaaiiiid, who's going to be an elite slot.
You keep sliding them in there. I'm picking up on it. I keep hearing you. I hear you.
I think Deontay Harty is going to be a problem. I do. Everything I've seen on film, he just looks like he just pops. He's just explosive. He's really shifty. He makes big plays. I think Sherfield also could be a problem. Yep. He has a lot of speed. To me, when I see him, I see reverse sweep type of, you know what I mean? Like flip the field and get blockers out in front of him. You know what I mean? I want to see him with the ball in his hands in open space because he's extremely fast, very quick. I like Justin Shorter, I gotta say.
Yeah.
He's tall. I mean, he's tall. We'll see.
He was the number one receiver in the entire country coming out of high school.
I know.
He was.
I know. A lot of guys don't do shit with that though.
That's facts. I mean? No, you're absolutely right. But I do feel like there is something there. Okay. And I feel like that potential could be untapped. You look at when he was at Florida, the first quarterback was garbage. And then Anthony Richardson was good, but he didn't really roll the ball.
He's never had 17 throwing on the ball. Never had 17 throwing on the rock.
So it wasn't like Justin Shorter had tremendous opportunity to be great.
He's going to get his opportunity now.
Yeah, he's going to get his opportunity now, right? You get to stand next to Stephon Diggs and learn from the best route runner in the league. Like, go out there and get it.
Moral of all these stories, the line, the tight ends, and now the receivers. They're deeper than it was last year, Robin, and Justice. Deeper than it was last year. So far, these three position groups we've gone over, deeper than they were last year.
Okay. Well, let's go to a group that actually just took a hit the day before training camp. Well, I guess it happened a little bit before that because the news just came out yesterday. But the running back room, Nyheim Hines out for the season. It looks like he was on a jet ski, it says, and his agent smartly made sure that the word stationary came out through Tom Pelissero. That is all for contract stuff to make sure that he doesn't lose any money because if you're not aware, Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew, there are certain things that guys are not allowed to do during the offseason. Now, they're, more certain teams are more lenient on certain things, but, I remember when Ben Roethlisberger was acting like an asshole and riding around Pennsylvania, which does not have a motorcycle helmet law. They were going crazy out there because he's not supposed to be on a bike, and then he doesn't have a helmet on top of being on a bike. So, listen, there's certain stuff in the contract that you're not supposed to be able to do. So I'm sure that they will quabble over that a little bit and maybe try to get some money back, or maybe he'll be able to prove that he really wasn't doing anything wrong. But it really sucks for the team, sucks for the young man, because I think that the Bills had plans on him being their main special teams guy. I know that a lot of people laughed. We laughed here at Nickel City Crew after we got him because what was it, DT? I think it was like 12 touches or something like that after the trade. It wasn't much outside of that, wonderful performance with the Patriots game with the kickoff returns. We really didn't see him much. He didn't hit the field much. He wasn't getting a lot of touches. But I was still excited to see what he could do because I'll never forget that day. DT and I were there, and it was something else. Mark Hamlin's situation. You were there too? Yeah, man. That was just it was something I still could get chills when I think about it because DT called it before the game, and I couldn't even believe it was happening. And he was running right towards me, and I was just like,
"Can I tell my story real quick?"
I couldn't even believe it.
I feel like my story was because I'm tailgating. I'm doing my stuff and drinking and dabbling and dipping and dabbing, and I get to the seat I'm in, and I'm like second level, but behind the end zone.
Okay, right? Sure. Tunnel side or the scoreboard side?
I think I was the other side of the scoreboard.
Tunnel side. Okay, yeah. He was running away from you.
I was tunnel side.
Okay, he was running away from you. Yeah. Okay.
He was running away from me. Yes, he was running away from me.
He was running right towards me.
Right? None of my friends were sitting with me. I was sitting by myself, and I was cold as hell.
Okay.
Right. And I'm sitting here freezing, miserable. Right. But I'm excited because it's the beginning of the game.
Sure.
He catches the football. He running up. He make a cut. And I have a better view than anybody in the world at this very moment. Right. He make a cut, and there is nothing in front of him for 70 yards, bro. I was like, oh my God. I tell you, I got up and started screaming before anybody in the section. Like, I was just losing my mind. And then as he kept running, other people caught, you know what I mean? And they started getting screaming too.
House call.
Yeah.
House call.
It was crazy, man. We told the story.
Amazing.
We told the story that DT called it beforehand. It was crazy. I never remember. I'll never forget that.
In the Gabriel Davis 98 yarder were the two craziest moments I've ever experienced as a Bills fan.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was really wild, man. It was wild, and it was something that all Bills Mafia will never forget. Obviously with the DeMar Hamlin situation in the first game after his cardiac arrest and then his recovery. So listen, we feel bad for him. Hopefully he wasn't doing anything wrong, so he keeps all of his money. He is signed through next year. Where does that leave the running back room? I've already heard that they have crowned Mr. James Cook, your boy Jimmy DT. It looks like he's going to be the main back. I know that the Bills have not crowned him, but the fans sure have. They are ready to see what this guy can do, and it seems like he will be RB1. If he's not RB1, I think it would be a surprise. Damian Harris is obviously on his heels as the running back too, but he's more of a change of pace, and he's more of a bruiser. So I think this is Cook's job to lose, DT, and I think it's his versatility out of the backfield, whether it be catching, lining up in the slot, flexing out, different things that he can provide the offense. I think hopefully, and we're getting ready to get to Ken Dorsey in a minute, again, it's that same theme. Hopefully Ken Dorsey can unlock some things, because you don't just run this guy like a Mack truck right in the middle of the line. I think you need to get him in space, get him on the edges, and then utilize him out of the backfield as well as a pass catcher.
Yeah, a lot of hope for him. I was a big proponent last year.
Yeah,
bet him to win offensive rookie of the year. Obviously that didn't pan out, but I think he's gonna be electric. I'm being biased, I think, Rob, but watching these games, he just felt one step away, maybe a little timid, maybe a lot of things with that last year, just one step away from really busting loose and being electric. I think he has the potential to do it. 5 years of film on 17 now, and 95% of that film is him not checking down to a running back.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to start making adjustments. They're going to have to start making different game plans, because these teams now have a lot of looks at Josh Allen going down the field. This could be a perfect opportunity for 28 to be in that nice little check down role, be electric, make teams get back honest again, and take care of them, because I think he's one step away in the backfield from being electric, and he's a huge opportunity for that dump off that the Bills haven't been doing a lot, which I think they're going to have to start doing, because that's what's going to be wide open. I mean, I watched the other night, I watched the whole highlights of the entire season. It played basically every first down of the entire season. It was like 2.5 hours long. And I watched it all, right? And there were some opportunities with Singletary, there, and I think Cook's a lot better and a lot more athletic. So I'm excited for Damian Harris as well, but I'm really hoping, how cool would it be to have a guy like James Cook, just kind of filter in and be one of those Alvin Kamara types, or just like his brother Dalvin types, and just be electric out there, just to add another weapon. So I'm looking forward to it. I think he's one step away, and I hope I don't eat my words here. I hope it's 28 for 28. Or no, he changed his number. He's not 28.
He changed to 4 like his brother. Yeah.
He went to 4.
He went to 4 like his brother.
Let's go, Jimmy.
Jimmy
Cooks.
DT is a big Jimmy Cook fan. Like, I mean, what do you see for him? Because I know that, I'm excited about Damian Harris just because of the fact that he is such a hard runner. But I mean, there's no doubt that the explosiveness resides with Cook. I mean, he's got the explosiveness, he's got the wheels. I think it was 5.7 yards per carry, which was ridiculous last year. He didn't have a ton of carries, but he would have been right up there had he had some more carries. And obviously,
first carry was a fumble. Let's remember that.
Yeah,
first time he touched the ball was a fumble, and I think big bad McDermott took heat on that.
He actually sucked at the beginning of the season. Very terrible. Like, I was like, please stop giving 28 to the ball. But toward the back end of the season, he started to kind of, catch his stride and be able to see the field a little bit better. And he made better plays. He looked better. He moved better. He was more confident running downhill. I don't think he's better than Singletary. Singletary is actually, I feel like, extremely underrated.
Okay.
I feel like he just was never given the opportunity. He should have been the bell cow running back the last 3 years, but he was never given that opportunity.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, that's all right. Now he can help the Texans.
That.
Good for him.
Damian Pierce is going to be disgusting.
Okay. Okay.
I fear that we're going to do the exact same thing with James Cook.
How so? How so?
I feel like James Cook, again, I do agree with DT to a certain extent that he does feel like he can be an elite back. He has the speed, the size, the strength. He's just got to find it now. He's got to find his rhythm in the NFL. But Damian Harris is, I feel like, goal line, 3rd and 1 type of deals. I feel like that's where you see Damian Harris. I don't think you see too much of him as far as just 2nd and 13. You're going to see Damian Harris on the field, right? And Nyheim Hines was supposed to. I feel like he was going to really get a big role in the running game this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Dude,
okay.
I don't because they don't. They didn't
do it last year, so I didn't know if they were gonna. I didn't know really.
But last year they had Singletary. Singletary was their best back last year, and then they also wanted to feature Cook. Now Cook is your best back, so you're going to want to feature somebody. And I think Damian Harris could be featured, but I see him more as a power situation type of guy.
Me too. Okay.
And I didn't he bust one for like 80 on that Monday night win game?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
That was Damian Harris, right?
yeah. He's had some good games against us, actually.
Yeah, he has.
He's had like 300-yard games, actually.
I feel like Nyheim Hines was going to get a lot of love in the offense this year, and now I feel like they're probably going to go get a 3rd running back somewhere. It'll be interesting to see who they get.
Well, they have Murray. They have Murray. They signed the
Latavius Murray.
Yeah, they have Latavius Murray.
Oh, okay.
Low-key was nice last year.
Latavius Murray is going to be your short yardage guy. Damian Harris
Broncos leading rusher.
He's going to be featured. Yeah,
it'll be interesting, man. The running back room, like I said, our sentiments go out to Nyheim Hines because regardless of if he was going to get a lot of touches, like I said, from the actual running back room, I was definitely obviously looking for his contributions on special teams. So I'm just hoping that they don't put too much on Harty to do that, and then not let Harty play receiver. I'm really excited to see Harty play receiver. So I'm hoping they can figure out who can return punts and kicks and maybe figure that whole thing out. Maybe he'd be our boy Shakir. I mean, who knows? I have no idea, but they'll figure it out. That's what training camp's for. As we begin to wrap up, I appreciate you guys' time tonight. We've got to touch on 2 more topics, and then we're out of here, man. 17. I don't know what else there is to be said other than what has already been said is that we do have a generational quarterback. You guys have both spoke to that. Some people think that he's historically great. We're going to find out. We know that winning championships is kind of how you have to measure up in the playoffs when it comes to legacy. But talent is there. One of the best in the league right now, doing it outside of Mahomes. Really excited for him. I don't know, man. He has told us all offseason that he is very, very focused. He has told us all offseason that he is ready to go. We've got this whole Stephon Diggs thing under the rug now, under the bridge, as Stephon would say, water under the bridge. The decks are clear. I just get that weird feeling, fellas, in the back of my mind that I just don't know how many more opportunities and knocks we'll have at the door. I'm not saying that the window's closed. I'm not one of those people. As long as Josh Allen is healthy and upright, we're going to have a good team. We're going to have a decent offense. But eventually we have to retool. Eventually contracts come up. You got to get guys into the system. Rookies come in every year. I don't know how many more knocks we have at the door in respects to how good we are. We were really prime these last 3 years. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question real quick.
Uh-oh.
On offense, how many players would you say are absolutely untouchable as far as being traded?
2.
On defense, how many players would you say we have that are absolute don't even talk to me about trying to trade for this person on defense.
0 or 1. 1 would be Von, but he's so old. But the actual investment that they made into him, other than that, even from one of my favorites, Trey White, on down, nobody.
That is exactly why our window is not closing anytime soon.
Oh no, I know that it's not. I know it's not closing, but I'm talking about the knocks on the door, General, which are very different. Now, the knocks on the door are divisional round, AFC Championship, which we've only been to 1-2. Super Bowl, obviously, which we haven't appeared in. So I know you getting over there and rolling your eyes. I have done the research, man.
No.
They said nobody could touch him, and he never went back. His second year, he lit the league on fire. He never went back.
I feel like everybody's panicking. right?
Ooh,
I feel like everybody's panicking.
Ooh, you don't get to redo years.
This is going to be Josh's. This is going to be Josh's third. Okay.
Oh, his year. I was about to say we don't get to replay years. I mean,
this is going to be his fourth season with any real expectation. This is going to be his fourth season of being a good quarterback, right? He had 3 kind of, let's mature up years, right?
Okay.
This is going. He had 3 years now of being an elite quarterback.
But
like he didn't win the Super Bowl in 3 tries. Oh my God, let's burn him at the stake. That's kind of how I
15's had just as many tries. 15's had just as many tries, and he's got 2 rings and 2 MVPs. 9 has less tries.
Reed, you show me
9 has less tries. Burrow has less tries.
Show me the Andy Reid equivalent that we have.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
No.
It's turned. It's but it's as we talk the most shit on anybody, right? As Bills fans, we're Josh Allen. Look out, we got Josh Allen, and it was Josh Allen's an alien. I wish I had Josh Allen. You guys are sick. To now, it's turning to okay, chill out. What have you guys done? And so I'm not saying that it's over, but that's the narrative is changing a little bit. And I don't know if you guys watch that the quarterback on Netflix.
Oh, I love the quarterback. I'm on my second go round through the quarterback. I'm on my second go round.
Right? But how does that make you feel about how 15 looks in that?
I got a better question.
Let me answer.
If 17 played for the Chiefs, and 15 played for the Bills,
okay,
who would have the better squad?
I'm not playing that.
Who would go farther?
I'm not saying 15's better. I'm just saying. No, we gotta do something.
No, because what you're doing is you're comparing like legacy, right? Like it's team awards if we being real. Like you can't compare that if one clearly has a coach who is much better.
Yeah, my main thing, I don't want to get off on the coaching tangent too much. My main thing is the knocks on the door is that this team has been primed, General. This team has been primed, DT, these last couple years since the AFC Championship game. Now, the AFC Championship game came as a surprise to us as fans, but I'm sure in the building they thought that they were capable. They got beat. You know what I mean? It was not, particularly close, and that was fine. The next year was another Super Bowl where you're knocking on that door. That was 13 seconds, which we blundered and threw away. Then last year you get beat at home when you had everything set up the way that you wanted, because apparently you like to be a cold weather team. Apparently you want to be at home. It's snowing. It shouldn't bother you. And you got pushed around all over the field by backup linemen, even on the offensive line for the Bengals. My main point is how many more years will it look this good is what I mean. Stephon Diggs won't be here forever. I know you love Gabe Davis. Maybe he'll go into his second contract and then he'll be our number one eventually. But my point is the team is not going to get much better than it has been these last couple of years.
Exactly.
Because rosters change. General rosters change.
Hold on. But what you have to acknowledge is you have to acknowledge the fact that Brandon Beane has yet to miss.
Okay? On what?
He's yet to miss.
On what?
As far as roster building going
draft
into
picks?
AJ up and as
draft picks?
No.
Oh,
that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Because draft picks is part of his job too.
Hold on. Just because a player doesn't pan out does not mean that it was a miss as far as the GM is concerned. The GM cannot develop a player. All right. He can only take what he sees, right? And AJ Epinesa is not a bad player. They made him lose mad weight, and they changed his whole style of rushing the passer. So, like, he's not even the same player he was in college. So that's definitely. I
don't agree that Beane has no misses.
But then you also have to acknowledge the fact that I went and got Dane Jackson in like the 7th round, dog. I went and got Teron Johnson in the late rounds.
Oh, no,
I went and got Matt Milano in the late rounds.
I didn't say he's had hits.
Sure.
So you take these players, and he's always put a team on the field where the sum was better than his parts. Every single season he's been the GM. He has put a great team on the field, except
when they were rebuilding.
When they were rebuilding, where it was early. He got to do some retooling with the roster. Outside of that, he's put a good team to great team on the field every single year. Now, when the coaching folds at the end of the season, that's not on Brandon Beane.
I know
when
that.
Injuries happen, that's not on Brandon Beane. He has always put a more than serviceable football team on the field. He is yet to not do so. So if you're going to say, first of all, Stephon Diggs is getting re-signed no matter what. He's going to retire a bill, or he's going to leave when he's got like 2 seasons left in the tank. All right, he's staying here. Okay, he's going to be patched up with 17 for the rest of his life. All right. 17 is going to be here for the rest of his career.
He's getting older, though.
Right, Rob, as long as we got them two, and we got Brandon Beane and his scouting department.
See, but
top notch.
But what you're almost doing is saying that at the end of the season, the result doesn't matter because we'll get him next year, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get us away from that mindset.
Yeah, I'm not saying we can't blame Brandon Beane.
Oh no, I don't. I'm just saying he's not perfect.
You asked the question about knocks at the door.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is
he'll always get us in position to have
more knocks at the door because Brandon Beane is going to provide. Now, it is up to Sean McDermott to follow through on what Brandon Beane has provided him. And he's not done so up to this point.
Ain't gonna get any arguments out of me and DT on that.
Well, it's also up to 17 now too, right? Sean McDermott's going basically strictly to the defense. You got a second-year offensive coordinator in Ken Dorsey. 17's going into year 7. It's time for him to start making his own way in that regard too. It's time for him to start getting in people's ass and coaching up the team too. Like that's what I think Rob and I's point is that's what we're saying. That next step for 17 is we know he's capable. And whenever he's on our team, we got a chance to win the Super Bowl. But he needs to make that next step up to an elite. Like he is elite now, but that step up to a all-time quarterback, those Tom Brady's, those Peyton Manning's of the world. When you don't just put on the cape.
Oh no, I'm not. I think
everybody around you better.
I think we're saying the same thing, but you're thinking that we're saying something different. And what I hear from you, General, is that Josh Allen is elite. I'm definitely never going to say that he's not elite. I think that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Outside, like I said, outside the Mahomes, Burrow, he's right up there. He's 1, 2, or 3. However, you just don't get to go to these. You don't just get to go just because you have a good quarterback. It has to be insulated around things around him. So I understand that Brandon Beane, to me, he's not perfect, but he's been very, very good at his job. Salary caps, which I know go up. So I know you're getting ready to say that. I know salary caps go up. Decisions on players, draft picks, free agency. Every free agency move is not a hit. Saffold wasn't a hit last year, right? I mean, so we have to keep it real. Like everything is not perfect, which means that there's going to be some years where you might be a little bit more lean in certain areas. I clearly you're saying that he's never going to leave us lean, and maybe, and I hope you're right. You know what I mean? Because I want to be in a position to knock on the door. I don't know how many knocks we get at the door. I know that we've wasted 3 opportunities.
It's going to take evolving. It's going to take evolving because the knocks so far are. We haven't opened the door. We haven't been knocking hard.
He wasn't like a complete bust.
He was pretty bad towards the end of the year.
He wasn't. I disagree. I don't think he was awful. Right.
Okay.
As far as 17 having to take a step into the all-time, I mean,
well, the only way you do that is by winning the championship.
He's broken all the records you need to break in Buffalo. Right. He plays in crappy weather at least 6 games out of the year. So of course his numbers ain't gonna look as good as somebody who plays in Missouri.
I don't care. I don't care about it.
I want a championship. I don't care about any of that.
Josh Allen, he has the highest usage rate in the NFL, like bar none. It's not close. He has to run. He has to be his team's best running back. He has to be 75. He was responsible for 87% of the team's points last year. That's ridiculous. They didn't run the ball last year at all, barely.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't. We don't. I don't want him to keep putting on the Superman cape.
Everything. Yeah. You also look at the offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey. There was no creativity. 17 had to do everything. You can't put more on Josh Allen's plate. We need to have more creativity in the offensive line, which is why I think the Andy Reid point is so important when you're talking about the difference between Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen. Of course, Pat Mahomes looks better. Do you remember in the playoffs? I love coming back to this point, and I love the fact that it happened now. I hated it when it happened, but I love that it happened now because it proves my point so perfectly.
What's
You
that?
remember in the playoffs when Pat Mahomes got injured? Was Chase Daniel or something?
No, Chad Henne. Chad Henne.
Chad Henne came at the 1 yard line and led a 99-yard touchdown drive.
98-yard drive. Yes,
that's Andy Reid. Okay, if Josh got hurt and we was backed up at the 1, in case Keenum came in, the other team would have 2 points. Ken Dorsey is not even in the same planet as Andy Reid as far as an offense. So you have to take that into consideration.
I just want a championship, General. I just want a championship, DT. And all I was trying to say is that I just don't know how many more opportunities we're going to have because the roster has looked great these last 3 years. And I'll fight you that it's going to always look this great. I just think we're wasting opportunities, DT. I really do think that we're wasting opportunities.
I think that
so we are wasting opportunities.
Well, how many more knocks? That's the point.
Exactly. I'll end on this point of each position group we hit tonight, we're deeper, we're better in, all to help one guy, all to help 17, right? So I think that this is all resolving around him. Everything goes through 17. I think he's going to have to change and develop in his own way as he grows and gets older. He's already talked about becoming a better pocket passer.
They want him to take less hits.
You know, he knows he's got to do all this, right? But he also knows he's one of a kind. So after, again, I go back to the point, there's a lot of film on him now. He knows he's got to change some things up, and he can't be Superman all the time because that's on the film now. So I believe in his progression. I think he's going to change some things up, and we're going to be pleasantly surprised with a little he's still going to be Josh Allen. He's still going to be jumping over people and running people over, but I think we're going to see a little more prowess, a little more old school quarterback from him this year.
Interesting. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. We didn't get a chance to really touch on Dorsey too much. I wanted to because I know we're getting late into the show. But Dorsey, for me, we'll wrap up on this, and I'll let you have the floor, General, because this is really why we wanted to have you on the show to talk about offense, to talk about Dorsey. Here's where I land on Dorsey. You only get one chance to say that it was your first time on the job, is what I will say. So. I was critical of him last year. I wasn't ultra critical. I know the DT can confirm on that. I wasn't ultra critical of him, but I felt that there weren't enough layups. I have been a proponent. Nickel City Crew knows this of Brian Dable. I thought that he made many layups. We had an episode actually called Layup Lines because there was something missing right around bye week. We talked about it right around that Green Bay, Kansas City time, the offense shift. Even Stephon Diggs spoke to it. You were on that episode where we played him, and he was talking about how we kind of went away from some of the stuff that was working. Everybody notoriously is wondering, well, why the hell did the Bills look like they were on ice skates during the divisional round? And you so astutely put to it, General, that the route concepts were not adequate for a snow game. So listen, here's where I come down on Dorsey. You only get one chance to say that it was your first time. With McDermott going to the defense, and we're going to get defense next week. It's almost like the parent is out of town for the weekend. How about that? And they leave the kid $100 and they say, you know what I mean? Okay, you can order pizza, stay out of the oven, and we'll be back on Sunday. And you're like, oh, okay. And you take the $100 and you can either go and make sure you budget it and go get some pizza a couple times, or whatever the case may be, where you can call all your friends and buy a cake and throw a party. I'm interested to know how he's going to run. There's not going to be anybody over him. And I know that McDermott is on the defensive side of the ball, so he's not necessarily over him and watching him like that. But McDermott's not even going to be around for the offense, really, to be honest. What does that look like for this team when it comes up? Because Dorsey, it's really, there's as much pressure there is on McDermott. I think there's an equal amount of pressure on Dorsey to make sure that he's manufacturing easy plays. DT, you hit it, and then we'll let General close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to I'll be critical when I need to at the end of the year if we need to. I hope I don't, but 13-3, 13-3 second scoring offense in the NFL in the first year last year.
I know. So, yes.
And
people will say that the points per game are more.
Yeah, and let's ride that to, let's grow as he's growing, another year with Josh, another year together. Josh is also going to be, helping him out a little more than he was last year, probably, calling his own stuff on the field and helping that too. So I have confidence. I'll be critical when I need to, but 13-3 second scoring offense in the league last year. So we'll see. That's what I got.
I mean, technically those were the stats, General. We'll let you close tonight because I'm just watching them. I was watching them last year, General, and I was I was never there. I was impressed in the beginning of the season, and then it faded. How about that? The Rams, we look like world beaters, and then the Titans, and all these games we look great, and they would look like there was a little bit of creativity. I mean, that one play, the very first touchdown of the season to your boy Gabe Davis, he comes down, cracks down, looks like he looked like he was getting ready to block. Boom, leaks out, easy touchdown. It looked easy. Those plays were fewer and far between as the season went on, and it kind of concerned me. We did a whole episode of layup lines about it. So you close the show because I know you've got some feelings about Dorsey.
First of all, I don't mean to okay. I get passionate, all right.
No, we love it here, man. We love that.
And I have strong opinions. You know what I'm saying?
We love it.
So I apologize if I come off abrasive. I will say this, right? When Clark Kent is in Metropolis, ain't no Batman, ain't no Wonder Woman, ain't no Flash.
Yep.
You know, when Lex Luthor is up to no good,
yeah,
he got no pass on his chest.
Yeah, he goes in the phone booth.
And until Bruce Wayne stops in Metropolis, which we have a Bruce Wayne, right? But Bruce Wayne can only do so much. He's still a human, right? And Stephon Diggs can only do so much because he's a wide receiver. It's not like he can impact the game that crazily, right?
Right.
We don't got no other Justice League members now. I mean, and as far as accrediting Dorsey to the so that's I feel like that's the thing, I guess, that I don't understand.
What's that?
Is we will credit Ken Dorsey with second offense in the league, yards, points, right? Not to mention these guys didn't finish basically a whole game, the whole 3-quarter game, and then sat out multiple fourth quarters. So as far as I'm concerned, they're the best offense in the league.
Okay.
But all that was 17 though, or
much of it.
I would say 80% of it was 17, right? Because Ken Dorsey did attribute 20% in the beginning of the season. He did. It was going crazy, and then he got help apparently because he wouldn't go crazy no more. He was a very sane person for the rest of the season. He wasn't crazy at all. Right? So,
do you think it's a problem? Do you think there's a problem brewing?
No. There's a problem, absolutely.
Okay,
but we'll see if it's able or if it has been fixed.
Okay,
because the inexperience definitely showed last year.
Okay,
it definitely showed, and I don't think that he's garbage. Like, you know what I mean? I just think that we're what did you say? It's about to be Josh's 7th season. We're 7 years into this thing with a generational quarterback, and we don't really have time for mistakes because you're talking about knocking on the door, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, we ain't got time for you to learn how to win. Like, yo, we need a Lombardi. We need a platinum, right? Like, so that's my only thing with Ken Dorsey, and maybe that's not fair to him. It might not be fair to him. But
professional sports, though. I mean, we can
took the gig.
We want
you took the gig with the most talented quarterback in the world. So now you have to be held responsible for that guy not being able to succeed because that's ridiculous. How does that guy not succeed?
Yeah,
But when guys are running post corners in 5 inches of snow, of course you need nobody to throw the ball to. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I mean, he's going to be a man that is going to be under the microscope once again, man. I mean, there's no way around it for him. There's nowhere to hide for him.
You know what I'm gonna do? The next time I'm on the show, I'm gonna bring all 22 film with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna show y'all some of the route concepts. And I'm gonna show y'all how Josh Allen has to be Superman in order for this play to work.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Because that's what I'm thinking of. And I'm just like, nah, like Josh need help. He needs some help.
It'll be interesting because that is the help that he has right now. It's Ken Dorsey's show. Josh endorsed him last year when he got the job. And, we heard Stephon Diggs say today that he loves Ken Dorsey. So there's definitely belief at One Bills Drive that this guy can get it done. We'll see because he's definitely going to be front and center. Next week will be my favorite week. We'll get a chance to go into the defense because you already know I'm chomping at the bit to talk about Sean McDermott. I'm always chomping at the bit to talk about Sean McD. So can't wait for that. I really appreciate your guys' time tonight. General, thank you again. Salute to you, man. Again, Justus General at JA17MVP on Instagram and Twitter. Check him out. Again, he's leading this thing over here at Buffalo FAMBase that we simulcast on, and I'm grateful. DT is grateful. We're appreciative of your time and this opportunity on this platform. DT, man, it's getting ready to get cranked up, man. I'm so excited. Thank you again for tonight, man. And listen, man, please spread love, not hate. These were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Hit him with a Go Bills, DT. Hit him with a Go Bills, General.
Go Bills.
I mean, we
Go
talking
Bills.
about points tonight, man. We talking about points.
Oh yeah, Go Bills.